Hey YouTube guys, so I'm back making a review on this Toro timemaster and my exmark 30-inch. So I'll review the exmark and what I like about it and what I don't like about it. I'll do this really quick because I'm doing a video off my phone, so it takes a while to upload. So excuse the mess. We just hauled everything in here because it's snowing out there, so I just didn't want to leave everything out in the trailer. But anyways, this is the exmark. Great machine. Had it over 3 years. Started with this machine actually with my lawn service. I love this motor. Love this exmark. Used it for about 8 months in the beginning of my season, beginning of the year. When I first started. Put quite a bit of hours on it. I mean, I do have an hour meter on this thing. I just installed that maybe in the beginning of the summer, so I already put 118 hours on this summer. This season. I just added that so I can keep track of maintenance, but not have any really big issues. I changed the oil, changed the air filters, didn't change the fuel filter yet. I had to change the V-belt, that's located underneath here. I had to change that, but other than that, everything looks good. The V-belt was just, it had a nasty tear in it, so I just, replaced it for precautions. Love this. It has a big, like, 1-gallon gas tank. Everything you control is right there, so that's the throttle, and that's how you turn off the motor. There's an external oil filter, so this thing actually has an oil filter. It does have a gas shut-off valve, and it has a fuel filter right there. And then the air filter is pretty beefy. It's pretty good how it's located. It's outside, so it's not really touching too much of the motor itself, so it gets very cold air, or at least colder air, to the motor. Things that I don't like about this is it's very heavy, but it also has its benefits of being heavy. It does stick to the ground better. When you're doing a lot of zoysia or Bermuda grass, this thing just eats right through it. Zoysia is very dense grass down south, so it's like fescue, but more dense and more finer. Or you can get broad zoysia too. But anyways, it's very dense, so it holds the motor up from the ground usually. But with this exmark, it's heavy enough to get it stuck to the ground, so it's not like hovering over the grass blades. It's kind of, the wheels are actually biting into the subsurface. A lot of people that have zoysia, they like to keep it longer than you're supposed to, because it greens up really nice, and it feels very spongy, I should say. But with this mower, it doesn't feel spongy when you mow it. The reason for that is this heavy duty deck. It is very durable. It's welded all the way through. They also added an extra, I guess it's not stamp metal, but like a tubular metal all around it. So it's like a bumper. And if you forget to like bungee this thing up and it just rolls around, it won't put a dent on it. And if you have to jump a curb, or you usually jump a curb, and it scratches sometimes on the curb, you wouldn't have to worry about denting the deck on this thing, because it has the tubular steel. It's literally a 1/2-inch steel rod that's welded right around the whole deck, so it's very durable. I love it. Nothing I don't like about this other than the weight. The front wheel adjustments. This is a pain in the butt, because if you look real closely, you literally have to adjust each wheel individually in the front. Luckily there's only 2, but yeah. So you pretty much pull the pin, slide that out, and then you see the axle. It goes through those holes, and those holes are corresponding how high it goes and how low it goes. So that's the only thing I don't like, because the deck's so heavy. It's sometimes a pain when you're doing it by yourself. I usually, shove my foot underneath the center axle here, kind of lift it up a little bit, and then do everything here with my hands. But sometimes when you're tired, it's hard to do it, and you have to do it on both wheels. It's durable as heck, but sometimes those holes, I notice, sometimes gets clogged, especially if you don't usually cut at a certain height. They get clogged, so makes it very hard to get that wheel back into the axle. I mean, let me see if I can show you right now how to do it. I'm gonna try to do it with one hand. Literally, see this handle right here? Pull that up. That axle comes through there, and this whole wheel comes out. And then you put it through the corresponding hole. So sometimes it's hard to do that, especially if you're new to the yard, especially in the beginning of the season. You don't really know what height to cut it at, and you're cutting that first strip, and you're like, oh man, you know, I cut it too high, I gotta drop it lower. Then you're in the middle of the yard doing this, it's very hard. So my suggestion is try to figure out your height on the concrete before you get into the yard, especially in the middle of the yard, because it's very hard to adjust. So you gotta do both of them. The back, you don't have to do too much. It's one of these levers, and I think that's the most easiest way to adjust is that lever. I mean, literally, you pull that lever, both wheels go up and down. I mean, I can't imagine if they put something else in there, because it would take a decade to adjust each wheel, and it's so heavy. I wouldn't do it, especially if you fill up a gallon of gasoline in there. This thing gets a little gnarly. The throttle blades are up there. I'm having issues with the throttle itself. It's just that rod, that handle right here. This is the throttle. It gets bent. Sometimes it hits against something else in the trailer. If someone didn't bungee it rolls around, and it bent the crap out of that. This is the blade engagement. This is really good. I got rid of the safety. Oh, the safety should be right here somewhere. I got rid of it. It runs a little bit more faster when you get rid of it and don't have to play around with that little switch. Safety wise, it doesn't really matter if it's there or not, really, I don't think. Never had any issues with safety. It's a 3-in-1, so it mulches, cuts, and bags. Good thing is that it's metal. I call this a mousetrap. So sometimes we're mowing stuff, we take this mousetrap out. Literally, you take the spring and you lift it up, and then this metal plate right here pops off, and then there's the chute. There's a piece of plastic that goes over it, but it's too much to carry around, and something that you can lose anyway. So I ended up just taking the chute blocker, or we call it the mousetrap, off, and then just mow it without the chute there, and just make sure you're going away from the house or windows, not towards it but away from it. Then you're fine. So that's how we do it. There's a chute blocker that goes into the back of the deck that covers the hole that goes into the bagger. So pretty much with how this bagger works is, you see, someone broke this, but it just lifts up, and there's the opening, and then you put a piece of plastic in there. We don't usually use it as much. It might be in there right now because it works better when it's mulching leaves. When you're doing a lot of leaves, you leave that thing in there, and it does a really good job. But if you're just doing grass, some of the grass try to escape. But this mower, this Kawasaki, this engine is pretty tough, so it does a good job mulching and making that blade spin at what RPMs it's supposed to spin at. Alright, so good mower, love it. No issues really. It is 3 years old, it's getting old, getting beat up, but it's still running like a tank. Burns a little oil, and I think it's cutting at like maybe 95-90% now. But that's still, normal wear and tear. You have to change these blades more frequent than my bigger mowers. I noticed the blades are just stamped metal, very thin. Good thing is that these blades are interchangeable with that Toro, so you can use the same blades for both mowers. So usually when I change this blade, I change that blade. I sharpen them all at the same time. I have like a dozen of these blades, but they're stamped, so they end up wearing really quick. It does keep its edge for like maybe 2 days of using it, but then it slowly like disintegrates. So that'd be on my next video on how to sharpen blades, but I'll show you when you need to really change the blades. Just throw the old ones away. I mean, I'll show you when I make a video on how to sharpen these blades. Okay, so to the Toro. Sorry I'm making this video quick, just it's on my phone. So Toro, let's talk about the deck. It's just pretty much stamped steel. So there's no tube that goes around there. So luckily I don't beat this mower as much, but I can imagine if, you know, if you're jumping curbs all day and you lend this to one of your guys, they don't give a crap, and that deck would be demolished. I mean, literally, if you look at it right now, that's all stamp. It's like 1/4 inch stamp metal all around, including the deck. And then the front, it's plastic. I mean, for a resident, it's not bad. Residential use, it's not a bad mower. But the problem is it's very light. So you have that dense zoysia, you're floating right over the zoysia. Motor's underpowered for a dual blade, especially a 30 inch. I mean, I wish to put a Kawasaki on this and we would have better reviews. But anyways, so it comes with the brakes. Gasoline, it seems like every time I finish up a yard, I have to fill this thing up. Doesn't run as efficient. Even though that Kawasaki is heavy, it's commercial use, it seems like it's more efficient, like fuel efficient than this thing. This thing just gobbles gas like it's no other. Everything else is pretty much the same. I'm pretty sure like most of the components are interchangeable with that exmark. I just gotta double check. Because that V-belt I just replaced on the exmark is the same size V-belt as this one. The main belts are exactly the same. The transmission might be a little bit different, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same either. I mean, it's a okay machine. I would say residentially wise, $1,000, I wouldn't bother getting it. The only reason I got it for $1,000 is this is $1,000, that was $2,600. So I figured maybe I could just get 2 of these for that price of one. Big mistake. First time I got this, maybe not in like 3 months later, I had carburetor issues. Went back to the dealership. They said that, actually I didn't even get this at the dealership. I got this at Home Depot. Don't get mowers at Home Depot, please. They charged me $65 to just diagnostic to see if it's under warranty. So I had to pay the $65 for them to just even look at it to say it's under warranty or not. And the guy knew what he was getting himself into. I told him exactly what was going on. I said that there's a carburetor issue and it's not starting properly and there was a vacuum leak. And he's like, well, I have to inspect it and that's going to cost $65 right off the top and that's non-refundable and we have to see if it's under warranty. And he could have just said, no, it's not under warranty and you would just have to pay for this part and blah, blah, blah. That's what my dealer would have said. And I should have gotten another exmark, but anyways, they don't sell Toro, so that's why I didn't go to my dealer. And I was looking for like a cheap 30 inch for a backup. I was planning on using this on my second crew, but that didn't work out. Anyways, yeah, my driver got a DWI, so he's no longer working with us. Alright, so then this is a plastic chute. I mean, it's a great concept, but it's plastic. I like it because it's not like that mousetrap where it's like a spring-loaded. You can prop this open, and it's pretty cool, but I wish it was made out of metal. A little bit more durable. Front wheel adjustments are easy to do. It's that one little lever. I mean, it's very chintzy. If you look at it, you see it's like stamped metal. The rubber thing popped off already. But yeah, you just slide it to your alphabet. I wish they used a number system because it's weird when you're saying, can you just set it up at D or E or A or B, where this one actually has numbers. But yeah, both wheels move with one adjustment. Same thing with the back. The back has ABCs, but it's one little adjustment lever. This lever, I mean, literally, it's very chintzy. And even this rubber thing's about to pop off. Tire-wise, these are not that durable tires. I mean, you don't get that great traction, especially when it's wet. Alright, so this is the cockpit. This is the blade engage. This is how you move the mower up and down. I mean, move the mower, accelerate it. Just push this lever. I mean, it's handy for like a woman or someone with really like soft hands, I mean, this makes sense. But you don't have that like, yeah, I mean, it works good for like a homeowner, I should say, you know, because you're just pushing this and it goes. But it's very plasticky. It's very chintzy. It's gimmicky. I mean, it's not gonna really save you that much time having a design like that. It's actually gonna cause you more trouble if that thing breaks, or if this thing, like, you know, doesn't move properly, or you bent that bar, you're screwed. But this is a residential mower, and I still would not get this for a residential because it's too light and it's underpowered, especially the grasses that we deal with down here. If you have fescue or even some Bermudas, you would have issues with this too, because Bermuda is also very dense. But fescue, Kentucky blue, it's not that bad. But if you leave it like high too long, yeah, good luck. I mean, you're recommended cut what, a quarter of the blade of the grass. I mean, if you go over half of the blade, you're screwed. I mean, this mower won't be able to keep up with it. When I first got it, I had a carburetor issue, so it was a vacuum leak, not under warranty. They said it was because of bad gas. I don't use bad gas. None of my mowers ever had any issues, but that's what Home Depot always says. It's the carburetor. It's the carburetor. Bad gas, bad gas, bad gas. Never really had any issue with bad gas. And then fuel efficiency, poorly designed. Something's up with this mower. I think it's a very underpowered engine, so that's why it's consuming more gas. That blade has to, you know, work harder to keep up with the RPMs, and sometimes the RPMs are not there, so you're not getting a good cut. Very light mower. I mean, this is a one mower. If you're hauling in a pickup truck, it'd be okay. I would not do that with that exmark. At least you need 2 people on it or good ramps. But yeah, poorly designed. Let me get onto the bags. So these are the bags that come with the mowers. The one on the left here is a Toro, and the one on the right is an exmark. I wish they designed that bag with that Toro right there. I mean, I wish Toro just included the exmark bag, because exmark bag is wider. So you can literally unload this by yourself, especially if you're using those Home Depot bags. Like if you're using bags like these, I can literally fill this bag by myself, unloading that exmark. But when it comes to that Toro bag, that opening's smaller, so you get more stuff that's trying to come out of that hole. You can't put your hand in there really to just, you know, loosen it up. I mean, if you overbag that thing, it's like a brick of junk coming out, and it's just wobbly and it's not really secure. The handle's a little chintzy. This handle goes all the way across. The handle doesn't. So you would need literally 2 people, one person holding the bag and someone dumping that stuff out. And then you're not going to get all the leaf clippings in the bag either, because everything's trying to come out of that one hole. Where this, you can manipulate it so you can have, you know, not as much grass coming out. So that is my review on the timemaster there. Piece of junk. Oh yeah. So I replaced the pulleys and everything. Beginning of the year, or no, I say middle of the year, maybe 6 months after I got this mower, the pulleys all blew out. I believe it's probably around 100 hours it blew out. So the pulleys went all bad. Well, not, yeah, all the pulley bearings went out. So there's 3 of them in there. Costs about $15 to $20 each for each pulley. Not a bad deal. But they're really poorly made, and you could tell that those pulleys, you probably have to replace them every 100 hours easily. Hopefully that exmark's not the same. I don't think it was. Or I'll tell you why. One of the reasons it happened is that this deck is designed to pour out. So if rain comes down and you left this outside, or you get caught in the rain goes here and it spools out in this little hole in the underneath this cover, underneath the belts and everything. So all the water drains off of the top of the deck into the undercarriage. And where that hole is placed, a lot of the clippings, especially when you're mulching, gets into that hole. And all the stuff gets shoved into this cover here, so you have a whole bunch of crap underneath it, but you can't even see it. You literally have to take this whole cover off every time you want to get to that belt to just blow the crap out of it. Where the Exmark, they're smart. They have this like access panel, and this panel, you can literally use your keys and just twist it and it pops right out, and you can just blow everything out. Where this, you don't know what's underneath there, so you have to do it every week. If you don't, that's what happens. You know, stuff gets stuck in there, bearings get worn out quicker, belts start jumping, and your time gets all off, and belts get damaged. So that's what happened. 3 pulleys, 2 belts. The main belt, the ribbed one, $45. The V belt, $15. The V belt is like, I think, the driving belt that goes to the transmission. That's like $15. Just replaced the V belt on this one. This one's 3 years old. This one's not even like a year and a half old. And then just last week, that motor blew. Yep, so it started smoking like crazy. I'm not sure if something contaminant got into the gasoline or the oil or the air filter. Something happened and busted the cylinder. And now it's leaking oil and burning oil like crazy. So I'm hoping I can change out this motor, so that's why I'm looking up right now. Just swap out the motor, and if it's over $500 to replace that motor, hasta vista, get myself a new Exmark, and that's how it is, man. So welcome to the game. Don't get yourself a Toro timemaster. Not worth $1,000. Get yourself a nice Honda. I mean, yeah, it's going to take you maybe another 15 minutes, but you're not going to cost as much as maintaining this machine. I mean, this machine's not even 100 hours old, where all the pulleys went out, and now the motor blew. Residential, commercial. 2 big differences. And that's why there's a line right there. They're not going to integrate these. They want to make sure, you know, you're paying $2,600 or $1,000. You're buying it from a dealer, or you're buying it from Home Depot. Don't get any motors from Home Depot. Get it from the dealer. Even if you're getting residential, get it from the dealer. They will help you out. They know what they're doing. They can diagnose it on the spot without even you like having a checkup service. I mean, that's how good my dealer is. The only issue is they don't sell Toro, and you don't sell any mowers under $2,600. No, they had a couple Exmarks that are 21-inch. They're about what, $1,200, $1,400, but they're 20 inches, where I was looking for a 30. And I thought it would be more efficient, but forget that. So good luck for your 2017 season. I know I'm starting off in a bad foot already. Got to replace this motor, and that's how life is. All right, talk to you guys later.